Let's talk about what I read in the month of January. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the January wrap-up. Before we jump into the video, make sure you're checking the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord, should you want to come along for the ride. Now, I did read a total of 6 things in the month of January. It's not a huge amount. I was away for a full week where I did not get a whole lot of reading done, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. I'm not someone who reads super fast. I don't get through, 10 to 15 books a month. I normally sit around that 6 to 8 month. I am attempting 11 in February, so we'll see how that goes. I don't like my chances. But regardless, in January, I picked up 6 books, and one of them was not planned at all. Just my father read it and was like, here, read this. If you're trying to write a book, I think it'd be interesting. And I was like, all right, you're not going to shut up until I do it, so I will. Just, there's a lot of dogs in this room right now, so if you see one, they're just in here with me because there's a vacuum going on out there and they'll eat it, and I don't want that to happen because it's not my $700 vacuum. Anyway, let's jump into the books I read. The first one off the rank was The Last Ranger. This was by J.D.L. Rizal. This was the first book in the Titan Wilds series. The cover, for starters, blew me away. It is so beautiful. There was a Kickstarter for this one, which I didn't back, and I'm kicking myself, but Kickstarter for book 2 is currently live, and I will leave a link to that one down below if you're interested in checking that one out. The cover looks just as beautiful, and I can't believe J.D.L. Rizal has got that Kickstarter for book 2 so fast after the first book's release. The Last Ranger is about Leanne, who is one of the Last Rangers, and she basically goes out on a scout, comes back and finds that the lodge has been destroyed. She's then sort of set on revenge and finding out who and why it's been destroyed, and along the way she comes to know a little bit more about her own personal magic. This book was really reminiscent of things like Tomb Raider and Horizon Zero Dawn. It felt very much like a video game in book form, and it was really awesome, very vivid world. There are titans in it, which are these giant godlike creatures, which something in Leanne pulls to life, and it was just a really fun time. If you like fast-paced fantasy with a bit of a video game flair, you're going to want to check this one out. The next one I picked up was a quick read called Steal Like an Artist. This is by Austin Kleon. I know a lot of people have read this before. This was basically a book that tells you that nothing is original, and that's okay. It is okay to pull from your inspirations, but make sure you give it your own flair. It was basically permission to steal, but steal in a way that makes your own story. Very short. I read it in about an hour, and it just has 10 tips for you to go through. I would really recommend it. It doesn't necessarily say anything new, but a lot of this stuff was a good reminder as someone who's trying to create a project at some time in the next 50 years. Moving on from there, we have the Wheel of Time Readathon being hosted by Kate at the Literary Apothecary, which I can never friggin' say. Started off with Eye of the World. This is my first time reading Wheel of Time. I was really concerned that it was a series that was not going to be for me. And look, we're only at book 1, but I will say that me personally, I'm a world-building driven reader. I love good world building. I love good pre-planning. And for a series that I know is about 14 books long, the amount of work that's been put into book 1, Eye of the World, to set up what's going to happen in the next 13 books is phenomenal. I really cannot fault the world building in this book, and that excites me as a reader. I can't say that I really care about any of the characters at this point. I like Moraine, and I like Nynaeve, I think it is. Rand and Matt shit me because they're just whiny babies, and I feel very indifferent towards Egwene and Perrin, I want to say, and the warden person, Lan. Is that his name? I think I got them all right. Like I said, this is my first time through. I did watch the show with my wife. I didn't hate the show, but a lot of people did. So I don't know if the further along I go in the series, if I'm going to hate the show more. But like for now, it was, it was alright. It was entertaining. I don't watch a lot of TV. It was nice to share it with my wife, who read these books as they were coming out. And you know, she loves the series. I hope I do too, and we'll be continuing on with that. Moving on from there, we had an arc called The Price of Power. This was by Michael Michel. I'm not going to go too much into this either because I do have a full review coming out for this one on Monday the 6th. This is a arguably grimdark. I've heard some people say that they don't agree with the grimdark title here and it more borderlines on dark fantasy. I personally would put it into that grimdark category, but it depends on your definition of the subgenre. This was following 4 POVs. There were 3 mentioned on the back. I would argue that there is definitely a 4th, and the 4th one is probably my favorite of the 4. We've got a prince who has basically fallen from grace. He's been in hiding for 14 years, Prince Baradane, and all of a sudden his life is starting to catch up with him. We have an innocent sort of princess who's 14, 15 and about to undergo the trials, which will allow her to have a voice at court. And then we also have a godlike prophet character who has to sacrifice her grandson but needs to train him up and be able to sacrifice him. So all we really know about that character going into the book is that she will have to say goodbye to her grandson one day because her grandson is going to do something important, and we get those stories build up throughout the book. I had a really good time with it. I am a little biased, I'll admit, because I did the beta read for this one, and there's been a lot of work put into the book to make it as tight as it is now, but you can catch my review for that one on Monday. Then I listened to Curse of the Fallen. This is by H.C. Newell, who is just an all-round gem, and there will be a full review for this one coming up on the channel, but that one will wait until March just because of times and where I can get videos filmed and put out on the channel at the moment, but I promise there will be a full review for that one. This is falling Nemia, I think her full name was. I just think of her as Nia in my head because there was a nickname for her throughout the whole book. She has been cursed anytime she uses her magic. The Order, which is the big bad in the story, tries to find her, and she is trying to find a way to break this curse and seek revenge on the head of the Order who has put this curse upon her. This book had some really awesome elements. The friendship dynamic between the 3 main characters that we had, or 3 characters that we had Nia, we had Lorik, who was a bard-like character, who's a bit cheeky, but they've obviously been friends for a really long time, and Gil, who's a shapeshifter. Between those 3, it was some of the best banter I've read in a fantasy book. They just felt like friends from the get-go. You felt the relationship, you felt the connection, and I was really impressed with the way that was portrayed. And you do get some other characters along the way. Cloud, who personally I think can just go in a ditch because I don't like him very much, and Avalok, who Haley has sent me a picture of what Avalok looks like, and now I feel better towards him. So I don't know, there's that. Maybe I'm just a shallow. I'll leave it at that. Curse of the Falling was really fun. It was a nice short book. I think it is perfect for people new to the genre. Very easy to pick up, very easy to follow, but also can bring that comforting fantasy feeling if you're wanting a palate cleanser between some of the big series that we tend to pick up as fantasy readers. The last book that I had, and the last one that I finished just in the nick of time for January, was Stormwarden. This was by Janny Wurts. I have to say, Janny Wurts is quickly becoming one of my favourite authors. She has a way of writing which is utterly captivating. Within 2 pages you are sucked into whatever story she is writing, and it is something else. I decided to pick up Cycle of Fire because I really do want to run a Wars of Light and Shadow channel-wide buddy read, get some other channels involved if they want to. I know some people are doing it this year. Maybe some people want to join me along with it for 2024. Whenever I get to it, but I read To Ride Hell's Chasm last year, thought it was phenomenal, 5-star read, couldn't fault it. So I was like, maybe I'll pick up some Janny Wurts before I jump into the Wars of Light and Shadow. So I picked up the Cycle of Fire trilogy, which we're doing over on the Discord. If you wanted to join along, book 2 will happen in February. This is the story, again, kind of a revenge story, I guess. A lot of revenge happening in January. Anyway, so this is a story which follows 3 younger people as they try and either free or destroy Onscary, who is a wizard of wind and water. Onscary and Yvain, I believe his name was, who was the wizard of fire and earth to counterpart Onscary's sorcery. They had a pact to bind these demons to a particular island. Onscary was betrayed by Yvain, and he basically got accused of killing 4,000 people. So Onscary's been taken away, and he freezes this wall of frost wargs, I believe they're called, and now he's in great peril, and he needs the help of Yvain's son, who he's put a curse on. The curse says, "Your offense against me is pardoned, but not forgotten. This guise, which is the magic of this world, I lay upon you. Should I call, you, Yvain, shall answer, and complete a deed of my choice, even to the end of your days. And should you die, my will shall pass to your eldest son and his son's sons after him, until the debt is paid." We're following a few different characters in this one. We don't get a whole lot on Scary, but he's very much tied to the book and the plot itself. This is him on the front, I presume, and this is his Storm Falcon here. We follow Tien, who is a young girl who has the sorcery ability of empathy, and we get to talk about all the ways that that can be used, and she can also dreamweave and dreamwalk, I think it is. And we follow her brother Emion, who just basically swears revenge against Onscary. He is tied up with Tethagris, which is a bad sorcerer, and it's all very complicated. So Janny's works, I find, can be complicated, and it sounds complicated, but when you're in this world, you are utterly captivated by it. So if you haven't picked up a Janny book yet, I would recommend starting with something like Cycle of Fire, because it is a little bit more linear than the other books, or so I hear. Those were the books I read in January. What did you pick up in January? Let me know what your favorite was in the comments down below. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.